So we're going to review for the test. The first one is a student has gotten the following grades on the test. What is the minimum grade you must get to get an average of at least 81? So we have 4 tests. We want to find out what the score needs to be on the 5th test. So we would just add these up. 83 plus 93 plus 70 plus 83 again, plus X or any kind of letter you want to put in there. And we're going to divide that by 5. That's how many tests you would have taken. And that needs to be, really as an inequality, is greater than or equal to 81. We add up the numerator. We're going to get 329 plus x over 5 is greater than or equal to 81. Then we're going to multiply both sides by 5 to get rid of the denominator. That's going to give us 329 plus x is greater than or equal to 405, and then we would subtract 329 on both sides. And that means his final score needs to be 76. So that's the minimum score would be a 76 to get an 81 average. The next one, we're going to find the mean, median, and mode. The mode is the number that comes up the most. And if they're all the same or they're all just show up like one time, we would say it's no mode, but there's 43 that comes up twice, and that would be the most. So that would be the mode, 43. The average is where we take the numbers and then we divide by how many numbers that are there. And we can do a quick count and see that there are 7 numbers there. And I would recommend adding the numerator, all the numbers up there on the top first, and that would give us 350. And then 350 divided by 7 is 50. Note that your average has to be somewhere between the largest and smallest number. The median, the first thing we really need to do for this is to sort the numbers from largest to smallest first. And we should not have too many numbers that you're going to receive on a test, because the goal is not to try to confuse you with too many numbers. They just make kind of a silly mistake. So we cross off the smallest, we cross off the largest, we go back and forth. So 23 and 84 cancel out, 43 and 60 cancel out, 43 and 53 cancel out, and so that means that the median is 54. If we had 2 numbers in the middle, if we had an even amount of numbers to start with, this was 7 numbers, but if we had 8, then we would average together the middle 2 numbers. So go ahead and pause it if you need more time. The spinner at the right is divided into 8 equal section parts. We're going to find the theoretical probability and then the complement. The probability that we get greater than 5, well, the numbers greater than 5 are 6, 7, and 8. So that would be 3 out of 8 would be the probability that we get greater than 5. So the probability of the complement would be 1 minus 3/8, which what we're looking for is the probability that it's not greater than 5, which would be 5 or less. And you could count that up manually or just do 1 minus that, because the complement and the original number will always add up to be 1 when you add them up. So we can just subtract 1 because it's a fraction. We can make it 8 over 8. Just make the numerator or denominators the same. 8 minus 3 is 5, and we're going to end up with 5 over 8 as our answer. The next one, we have a lottery game. A single ball is drawn at random from a container containing 25 identical balls, numbered 1 through 25. We want to find the probability that the number drawn is either even or a multiple of 12. So we can list these out. The even numbers would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And the multiples of 12 are just 12 and 24. But so when we're counting them up, first we know we're going to have over 25 as our answer, because that's how many balls that we have to choose from. But we do not double count. So if a 12 is right here, we don't count it again since it's at the top one. So we just want to, we can cross it off there because it's already at the top, and 24 is also at the top. So this one might be a little tricky. So we just need to count how many numbers that are here, because the 12 and 24 repeat. And we would have 12 even balls, or 12 total possibilities. So 12 out of 25, and they might want you to write that as a decimal, which would be 0.48, and if they wanted it as a percent, we could take that, multiply it by 100, and get 48%. Different ways to represent the same idea or the same answer. Go ahead and pause it if you need more time. So a restaurant offers 5 choices. Offers a choice of 5 salads, 10 main courses, and 2 desserts. How many 3-course meals are possible? Well, these are pretty straightforward. We just need to do, there's 5 choices for salad, there's 10 main courses and 2 desserts. We're assuming that we are getting one of each, so we're not trying to trick you here. And you have to get one, so you don't have to think of it as, oh, we don't want a dessert, so there's an extra choice there. It's not going to be like that. So 5 times 10 times 2 would be 100 different possibilities there with one each. The next question, you pick a coin at random and from the set shown below, and then we're going to find this. Then we're picking a second coin without replacing. That's important. Without replacing the first one, we want to find a probability of a nickel and then a quarter. So probability is like what you want over what you could have. So the probability of getting a nickel first, there's 3 nickels. So we have 3 over. You count the coins up. There's 2, 3, 2, and 4 there. So we add them up, and we got 11. We take that nickel out, and we draw another coin. And what's the probability that it's now a quarter? Well, there's 4 quarters there out of 10 coins left because we took away 1 nickel. So now there's only 10 coins left. So we can multiply straight across. 3 times 4 is 12. 11 times 10 is 110. And in case they want you to simplify this, these are both even, so we can both divide the top and bottom by 2, and that would give us 6 over 55. And go ahead and pause it if you need more time. So if a coin is flipped 7 times, what's the probability that it lands on heads all 7 times? Well, these are independent events. And this is really saying, okay, there's in a fair coin, we're expecting a 1 out of 2 chance for the coin to land heads. So this would actually happen 7 times. 1 half times 1 half. We're going to do that 7 times. And if you work that out, 2 times 2 all the way up to 7 times there will be 1 over 128. Double check that with your calculator just to make sure you get that right on the test because it's a relatively straightforward question. What is the probability that the coin lands on heads 0 times? Well, it's actually the same thing if you're not heads. So it's the same probability of landing on heads all the times, or none of the times. It's actually going to be the same. Because it'd be a 1.5, then it would land on tails 7 times. So it would just also be 1 out of 128. And what is the probability that the coin lands on heads at least once? This is kind of an interesting question. And it's related to the an answer just right above it. So at least once means the only possibility that it's not that would be if it landed on heads every single time. Or, I'm sorry, none of the times. So we would just do 1 minus 1 over 128. That's the same thing as 128 over 128 minus 1 over 128. And that gives us the answer of 127 over 128. So read through these 2 parts right here. These are so the coin lands on if the coin lands on 0 times, it's almost the same thing as finding the probability that the coin lands on it at least once. You just take the 100% minus the probability that it's 0. There is another way to do that last question, but it's very tedious and long. The next one, a jar contains 10 equally sized marbles. There are 2 red marbles, 4 white marbles, and 4 blue marbles. If the 2 marbles are randomly selected with replacement, what's the probability that the both are blue? Well, with replacement, the probability the first one is blue is 4 out of 10. There's 10 marbles, 4 of them are blue. The probability, because we put it back in, is also 4 out of 10 for the second pick. We multiply those together, 4 out of 10 times 4 over 10. We might want to simplify this first. 2/5 times 2/5 equals 4 over 25. And you could simplify it at the end. If you did 4 over 10 times 4 over 10, you would get 16 over 100, and that would simplify down to be 4 over 25. So you're going to get the same answer no matter what. If the 2 marbles are randomly selected without replacement, what's the probability that they both are blue? Well, the first one, 4 blue marbles out of 10 possible choices. We don't put that marble back in, so how many blue marbles are left? Well, we took away 1, so there's 3 blue marbles left. And we have a total of 9 marbles left, so now it's going to be 4 times 3, which is 12. And 10 times 9, which is 90. And this one I should have simplified before I multiplied, but I didn't. And we can divide them both by 4. I think, nope, 3. And that's if the question wants you to simplify it. I'm not a big fan of simplifying it for probability. But in case it does, that would give us 6 over 30. And they're both even, so we can divide them both by 2. And that would give us 3 over 15. I'm sorry, that would give us, there, I made a little mistake there. This should be a 4. All right, correct a computational error. Sorry, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that would give us 4 over 30, and they're both even, so we divide them both by 2. That gives us 2 over 15 as our answer. So that's a good reason to check your answer. So if you did 12 divided by 90 in your calculator, you get 0.1333 repeating, and that's the same thing as 2 over 15. So you can use the calculator to make sure you get the same answers. So go ahead and pause it if you need more time. The tree diagram relates snowfall and school closings. Find the probability that following probability that we have an L and a C, and it tells you what each of them stands for: light snowfall, heavy snowfall, schools are open, schools are closed. So we want to find the probability that we have a light snowfall and then the schools are closed. If we follow the tree diagram, light snowfall is here, and then we go down to here for the closing. This is really pretty simple then. We're just going to do 0.6 times 0.3, and that would be 0.18, or if it asks for a percent, that would be 18%. So that's going to be it for this part of the test review. If you have any questions, ask your specific math teacher. I'm going to erase that so you can see that just a little bit better.